All right, everybody. I'm sitting here with Ross, the boss, Nichols. How you doing there, Ross?
Fucking above ground, breathing air. Every day's a good day. So
Yeah,
I cannot complain, man. Fucking glad to be over here. That's for sure. Good,
yeah.
good to see you.
Well, I know we don't see each other that often, but
It's been a
when we
while.
do, it's kind of a it's always a nice encounter.
Oh yeah.
So, what's going on with you, man? Why don't you tell everybody what's going on you and what's happening?
Oh fuck. Back finally playing music again after a very long hiatus. I think almost 25 to 30
Didn't
years.
you sell all your equipment at one time?
Oh yeah,
I remember that, Ross.
I got rid of all that shit shortly after our very last show at Spirit Club as when I was a photo member.
Damn, that's a long time ago. The damn Spirit Club, for some of you people out there that don't know, the Brick by Brick is now the Spirit Club. Maybe you don't even know what the Brick by Brick is. If you don't know what that is, you better find out what it is. Nice club. But yeah, the Spirit Club, many years ago.
Fuck yeah, like ancient years
Well,
ago.
Ross, why did you give up music then?
Why did I give up music? I gave up playing music because I was extremely frustrated after all the years of putting the effort in and the time and the money, and it just I it it killed me when it killed me when we were up on stage and I managed to break all fucking three fucking strings on my Kramer Focus 1000 at once with a locking tremolo system. And if you know anything about those guitars, you know they're a giant pain in the ass to change strings
So
on.
we had two pain in the asses together,
Yeah.
right? You and your guitar.
Me and my guitar.
Yeah.
And the other pain in the ass was the fact that my backup guitar was in Jeff's hands at the time because he showed up for the gig without a guitar. So
Wow, doesn't that sound like we all kind of had a little bit of that? I had a lot of that.
So, of course, you guys went on to finish the first song, and fucking while I'm frantically trying to change strings, and then you started the second song, then you started the third song, and then by the time you started the fourth song, I had about lost my mind because I was still nowhere playing strings, and you guys are halfway through the fucking set already, and
You know what? When you say that word frustration, I remember you saying that back then. That word exactly, and I feel what you're saying, man.
And fucking, I lost it. I snapped. I'm just like, fuck. I'm the band's playing. They're playing my shit without me, and I'm here changing strings because our asshole lead guitar player. Well, Jeff wasn't an asshole, but at that point in time, he was for the moment. Uh, I, my backup guitar was being used instead of me being on stage with it, and I lost it. And fucking, I lost it mentally. I snapped. All I did was see red and say, fucking, that's it. I'm over. I'm done. I'm fucking through. Couldn't take it. Fucking, everything I've been building up for accumulated to fucking three strings broken on the opening note of a fucking song and fucking.
Well, while you're speaking about that, I just want to bring up one thing that you mentioned, Jeff. I just want to bring his name into the conversation a little bit. Jeff Martinick was a guy that came here, hooked up, got him to play guitar for us. He was from Sacred Reich, which was a big metal, whatever rock band that still plays to this day, I think. And he was pretty much an amazing guitar player. Wouldn't you have to admit on him?
Fucking mind blowing. Compared to any of us.
I mean, like he was here and then he was gone, you know. And I was just like, well, there's one of them.
Wasn't he in the Navy at the
Yeah,
time?
He was in the Navy,
So I
and
realized,
Andre is the guy that knew him. That's how we had the connection. And he also had to miss some of the shows because he was AWOL, and they fucking threw his ass in the whatever the Navy thing or whatever.
In the brig.
Yeah, in the brig.
I didn't know any of that. Fucking, I just knew that he would come and go and fucking either be available or not.
Yeah,
He made the difference in the band at the time.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So in between that time until I know it was before Holy, you had another.
I gave up playing music after that performance that I mentally bombed on and walked away, and got rid of all my shit, and I was like, I was done with music. And then I was at the tattoo convention in New Orleans. And this is completely coincidental. Just so happens that the Beat Farmers were playing in town that night. And while I had heard of the Beat Farmers from San Diego, I'd never seen them or anything. And I finally got to see them. They were playing at Tippentina's in New Orleans. And then it turned out they just so happened to be staying in the same hotel that we were staying in at the tattoo convention. So somehow me and Raleigh ended up bumping into each other. And me and Raleigh already had known each other around San Diego just visually from the pit. But we weren't acquainted or anything. And one thing led to another. We started fucking just bullshitting. And he's like, fuck, I want to get high. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, what do we want to do? And like, I don't know, what can we get? We go, fucking, I don't know, I think roast beef's got some halcyons, fucking crush up and fucking snort. He's like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So we caught up with Randy Brown, a.k.a. Roast Beef, got some shit from him, and then we started partying all night long. And next thing I know, I was soon to be the guitar tech and stage manager for the Beat Farmers out of San Diego.
That was a good gig too, right?
Oh my God, it was the fucking best times of my life. Fucking, I wasn't playing music. I was taking care of everybody else in the band.
That's where you got that. You got the itch again, then, right?
Nah, not really, man.
No?
Fucking, the only thing I'm picking up the guitar.
You were good with that because you were good at it.
I was fucking mind blowing at it. Fucking, I replaced their original stage manager, fucking Craig Appleman, and about 2 weeks after I replaced him, Craig was calling back to the band asking for his job back. And funny thing was, Jerry Rainey told him, "Sorry, man, Ross does a better job than you."
Oh, ouch, ouch.
And I love Craig. He's a great guy and everything. And he still works with the band now occasionally. I still do occasionally show up as well, too, and check for Raleigh and do whatever's necessary when they ask me to, or if I just happen to be there. It's just secondhand nature now.
So now, not to interrupt you, I know somewhere that led to you doing another big thing with music, and that was when I had not seen you in a while, and I came and saw you over there in Ocean Beach, and you were all telling me about it. And it wasn't that had to do something with the band's Warped Tour?
A little bit. Again, I got ended up also, well, being a freelance roadie, basically. I mean, yes, my main band was the Beat Farmers. You end up working for a lot of people, though, if people are in need. Just so happens my brother at the time.
I was just going to bring your brother up.
If you don't know who my brother is, he just happens to be Eddie Nichols, the former frontman and singer of the Royal Crown Review out of Los Angeles.
Big band.
Big band swing. They actually single-handedly revolved big band swing music in
Yeah.
the United States before Brian Setzer and his big orchestra and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and every other copycat that came along.
Right,
after
I hear
them.
that.
So, which is even more interesting because it was Eddie and the Stern Brothers from Youth Brigade.
See, now, I always thought about that, and I didn't know if I was right, but I was like, well, the Stern Brothers were in that in first.
Eddie and the Stern, all three of the Stern, three out of four Stern Brothers. It was Mark, Adam, and Jamie that were in the Royal Crown Review. Sean Stern was not in the Royal Crown Review. Yeah, that was really interesting. That all got started, even though it has nothing to do with San Diego, the punk rock scene. Very interesting because the LA Olympics back in, what was it, 84, 86 or something, or 80, I don't know. Whenever the LA Olympics were in town, LAPD went out and told all the punks on the street, get your ass off the street. If we fucking see you, you're going to jail until the Olympics are over.
Right.
So literally all the LA fucking street punks went under fucking ground for the Olympics. And it was at that point, a few of them were like, okay, it's not cool to be punk right now. And, my brother Eddie, before he became greaser god Croner, or excuse Croner. Excuse me, what's the word for a singer?
Crooner.
Crooner.
Danzig.
A little tongue tied here. Anyway, fucking yeah, and he was a skinhead. Fucking he's still got skins tattooed across the back of his head that he tries to keep covered to this day. Fucking. Well,
So that's a lot of roots right there, all from every which way, coming all the way.
Oh yeah, but,
You know?
I mean, my brother fucking. Well, my brother's my brother, and he's something else. But you know, they did that thing with the Stearns. They took off like a fucking bat out of hell, and you know, Royal Crown Review was very, very big in America. You can go fucking 15, 20 minutes on MTV when MTV was really MTV and showed music videos without seeing a Royal Crown Review video.
Didn't they have like big lit up things in Vegas or whatever?
Oh yeah,
When they were playing there, I remember seeing something like that.
several. They got really huge. They were also diplomatic envoy troop for the U.S. Embassy. Again,
Wow.
they were sent to foreign countries to perform as United States diplomatic fucking performers.
Wow.
So Royal Crown has been to Egypt and Russia and other places as U.S.
Well,
diplomacy.
what the hell happened?
Well, what the hell happened? Well, with Royal Crown Review, and like everything happens with a lot of fucking bands and musicians.
Squabbling?
Well, you
Rockstarism?
rockstarism, you know, fucking. All I can remember is I remember the day I got the phone call from Mondo, which was Eddie's founding partner and saxophone player in the band. And he's like, Ross, I'm calling you first to notify you and your family about what's about to happen. And I'm just like, what do you mean, what's about to happen? He's like, well, we're firing Eddie.
Wow, they give you wow.
And I'm like, excuse me? You're what? He's like, we're firing
I
Eddie.
know all
I'm
about
like,
that.
And I said, can you do that? He's like, yeah, he made us all equal partners, and we've had it with him. And to be honest with you, I just can't understand this lazy Bobby Darin routine he's got going on right now. He wants to come up, sing one or two songs, take all the money, and disappear. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Again,
That's pretty much.
I just know that you're gonna fucking have one insane nickels when you play the law, when you lay down the law that he's no longer a member. He's like, well, that's why I'm calling you first and letting you and your family know what's about to happen. And I was like, all right, well, good luck. I'm sorry to hear this.
How did he take it?
Not well, to say the least. There was.
What about you? Would you have what was going through your head when they told you that? It's just like I told you. Or?
Really feeling for my brother. I was really kind of dismayed and fucking. But you know, I've known my brother for a long time, obviously. And my brother has his demons that he fucking still to this day plague him. And you know, unfortunately, when you have these demons and you can't shake them, it's gonna fucking affect you and your reality. So that's what it did. And you know, God bless my brother. He's still alive and on the face of this earth and working for our friend Scruff Bellow.
All right.
At Scruff's charity, but
so from there.
From there,
when do we get you back in the game, man?
Now that's pretty funny. I kept with the Beat Farmers. Well, Beat Farmers kept going until you know, fucking Country Dick passed, and then we tried carrying on as a couple different monikers and different band names, and I went out with the Blasters for a while after that, and I did a tour with Real Big Fish and Goldfinger as a lighting designer one summer, but I was still just bouncing around as a roadie and really not playing music at all. It wasn't until about 2018, actually it was sometime in 2018, where Donnie Edmonds, the singer of Strangely Strange, local Ocean Beach band, hit me up, and I've known Donnie for a while, and he just called me up out of the blues like, dude, you can play guitar, right? And I'm like, yeah. Well, at least I used to be able to. He's like, can you go like this? I'm like, yeah, but I don't like to and I won't. And he's like, well, why don't you come over to my house and, bring a guitar and fucking, well, I ain't got a guitar. He's like, all right, I'll get you a guitar. He's like, well, come over to my house and I'll just freeform some words. You start playing. I'm like, oh, fuck that shit, man. I don't like that even more. I'm like, tell you what, I got some old words that never got used. Let me drag those along and you take a look at them. And so I went over to his house and fucking lives on something about the size of your kitchen.
Standard size.
And yeah, for California, Ocean Beach. And he started looking at my words. He's like, Jesus Christ, you can write. And I'm like, well, I think so. At least I used to think so. And one thing led to another. And that was basically me coming back out of fucking, God knows, 25 to 30 years.
So what band? I know, because I remember seeing you playing in a band back then. I can't remember what the hell the name of it was. I remember seeing you guys play.
Well, I played after for Phono. I did a real brief thing with Frank Tokash. We did Cutthroat. We did one performance, I think, and I did something else briefly with fucking. Oh God.
So that was during the meltdown.
No. This is
After the meltdown, a little bit after the meltdown.
No, this is way before.
Okay.
This is way before the fucking.
Oh yeah,
meltdown.
it was 28. Okay.
No, this was after the meltdown. Actually, fucking, it was a real brief stint.
All right.
Trying to play with Frank Tokash was. I love Frankie, but he's too controlling. No offense, Frank. Don't beat me up.
Frank called me recently too. Said, "Hey, I saw your ad. Yeah, blah blah." And I got all the way quit. And I said, "Well, dude, you're more than welcome to come over whenever you want." And offer's still open, Frank.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I love Frankie, but he is still he's Frank, man. There's nothing that'll ever change that.
So Holding Grudges has been going for a couple of years now, right?
Well, Holding Grudges, like I said, Donnie called me up and said, "Hey, let's fucking try this." And I finally picked up the guitar again, and me and Donnie started working on tunes.
Were you rusty?
Oh yeah, I was definitely rusty. Fucking, it took a while to figure it out again. Then we went on about the search, fucking looking for other hoodlums, and
That's hard. That's a long and tedious game.
yeah, it was. I went through with Donnie. I went through I think two or three drummers before we landed this fucking 20-year-old kid. Austin, who just he knew nothing about punk rock at all, but he wanted to play faster, harder music. I guess he was playing like Deadhead shit mostly.
Oh God!
I know. So I mean, this kid showed up and he's like wearing tie-dye shirt and shorts and
Metamorphosis, man.
yeah, and so we gave him a list of things to listen to and fucking, we got him and this kid fucking wailed on the drums. I was really bummed when he split. Fucking.
So
Anyway, fucking, and then finally we went through a couple trying to find bass players too. That went into finally landing Chenzo Bliss fucking on bass, which was totally great because Chenzo is just fucking amazing. He can play by ear. Finally had a fucking unit, and I mean, even though me and Donnie started this in 2018, we didn't get our first performance going until March 10th, 2020, and. Well, what happened was Donnie's brother died shortly after we were getting this started, and that literally railroaded the project for about a year of me having to hold Donnie's hand and fucking let him cry on my shoulder and shit because he was a wreck. I didn't think he was going to make it out of it.
Sometimes you don't.
Oh, yeah. I know. I was really, I didn't think he was going to. I thought... Oh, here I go once again trying to start something and it's just going to get railroaded.
So, before we go into a little bit more about Holding Grudges, me being this is one of the maiden voyages here doing this, can you let me know how you got inspired and how you got into punk rock back in the day? Where'd that come from? And then we'll come back to Holding Grudges. So we'll go back in the time machine, Ross.
Yeah, I know, going backwards again. Oh, Jesus, what got me in? That's a funny thing, because when I got to San Diego, I was still a fucking hippie, listening to Van Halen and fucking Sabbath and shit like that. Fucking, mainstream rock and roll and metal. Fucking, and I had fucking lived around punks, and my brother Eddie had become the first one in the family to become punk. As a matter of fact, I was finishing high school in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and Eddie showed up for a visit, and he was totally shaved head bald and wearing a trench coat, and he looked badass. Like and he was just all about oh fuck I'm a punk, I got boots, I got fucking and fucking he took off into Marblehead and disappeared fucking, and he actually found the other punks in town fucking. He showed up to have a visit with me and the Lautners, friends of the family that I was living with, and fucking he just disappears and starts hanging out with the punks in Marblehead and shit. And fucking, so I always saw him briefly, and and I knew the other punks in Marblehead because I was hippie on the smoking line and shit. And we got along, fucking, I was in the metal, and we were all kind of the rejects there in high school in Marblehead, Massachusetts. And I get out to fucking San Diego and. Get out skateboarding up and down the fucking boardwalk and with the other skate rats and basically that are into punk and everything. And
Skateboarding and punk rock, man.
yeah, went hand in hand, fucking. So you start hearing fucking more and more punk, even though that I wasn't into it. It's like everybody fucking listening to like Black Flag and shit like that, and fucking Circle Jerks, and I'm starting to hear this fucking shit in the background, going fuck. This is kind of fucking cool, fucking, it's like, it's way heavier and different than fucking Van Halen and shit like that, and fucking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I was still kind of set in my ways, and fucking, and then I ended up fucking getting booted out of my mom's place, and having to, I was basically living off the boardwalk, and my new friends were putting me up on their couch or whatever.
Couch surfer.
Couch surfing at Mission Beach. I finally worked my way into a fucking college household on Island Court where a whole bunch of fucking college punks lived. And they were an eclectic mix of college punks. They were everything from like, people that like Susie to people that like Screwdriver living in this one apartment, and there were like 8 or 9 of these college kids there, and fucking I remember being there one evening for a party, and fucking Randy Underwood, who lived there, old New York City punk that was going to school out here at San Diego State or UCSD, one of the two, and his buddy Matt Rector, who would eventually become Descendants manager, Descendants initial manager. Fucking guys ended up holding me down and shaving my head against my will. And fucking another kind of lose it moment for me there, fucking, because I was totally freaked out, was not ready to have my hair cut off. And even though all the girls said I looked fucking really cute without hair, fucking, I didn't fucking believe it. I was all fucking pissed off and fucking annoyed about it, and fucking everybody kept telling me I looked much sharper and fucking way cooler, but still it was done against my will. So so I'm starting to hang out with these punkers more and fucking get into it, and eventually they're taking me around town and getting me to places. And I remember my first getting down to the fucking Pink House, first time at the Pink House in Imperial Beach, and
a lot of history there.
Oh
We
man,
do a whole episode on that.
well, history and lessons learned there.
Right.
And the first lesson I learned there was don't mouth off to people you don't know, fucking, because you get fucking.
Yeah, because they probably have like 10 other ones that are right in the darkness that they're gonna come out
yeah.
too.
Well, I learned the hard way real fast, and fucking. And Jimbo Torrescano taught me a lesson I will never forget.
Right. So right around that timeline, it's really pretty close. You remember how me and you met?
Yeah, we were in a backyard, fucking.
And who was playing? You know who's playing?
If I recall correctly, because there were a lot of shows in that
Okay,
backyard.
come on, let's see if you get
Was
it.
it Cheetah Chrome motherfuckers?
No, they had played in San Diego around that time.
Okay,
I have a flyer for the show that'll pop up later, but
Yeah. Was it RKL?
no, they
Fucking-
played with the agnostic front at one place.
There
that I
was
know.
a big name in the backyard.
There was two big names,
I-
and one of the bands even Joe's mom said, "Oh, you come in, I make you dinner. You come on." Well, I'll give you a hint. One of them was from, I think they're from.
Italy?
You know what? I'm wrong about. I'm going to screw up on it, but I'll tell you one thing. They had a school bus, a short school bus that they were touring in. They left their bass drum pedal there, which we inherited. And one of them is from Holland, I think it is. You want me to tell you who it was?
Oh, I forgot. I totally fucking space.
It was BGK and Dayglow Abortion.
BGK and Dayglow Abortion. Nah, it rings a bell. Fucking,
And somebody else, Crabgrass, and somebody else.
Yeah.
And it was packed in the backyard.
Oh, it would
People
be
on the
packed.
roof jumping into the yard. And what happened at that show? How did we meet at that show, bro?
Oh, fucking! I think you and me fucking started casually dancing, and then it got a little more fucking a real dance.
Yeah, we were doing a little casual dancing, and then all of a sudden we did a little boot stepping or whatever.
Yeah, fucking. I don't think we asked each other to dance formally, and
No,
then it got
I don't
formal.
think so. I don't think so. I don't think I came out there and hey, Rock, can I have this dance with you?
No, fucking, and that's another thing about being the new guy in town. Fucking, I remember it's like, well, if I don't put my balls on here and fucking show it up, fucking,
right.
I'm gonna get my ass handed to me and fucking laughed out of Dodge. So, fucking,
So we just kind of got face to face, and then somebody, whoever, separated us, and then we became pretty cool because instantly there wasn't that long of a timeline there that you started playing with Crabgrass.
Yeah, it wasn't very long after. I don't know how Coochman got a hold of my number, but fucking my phone rang, and fucking, I guess Joe Gomez was leaving the band, fucking, and somehow I ended up fucking being a guitar player at Crabgrass, and fucking, I honestly.
See, that's one of those, I don't know moments.
One of those things, fucking, it was funny. I do recall fucking, I do recall Coochman fucking calling up saying something to the effect of, "Yeah, weren't you the one fighting my singer in the pit? You want to be in our band?" I was just like, really? Is that how it works?
Now, we're gonna get back to holding grudges, but today I've been thinking about these pictures, and Ross brought them over today. I thought they were long gone. They're black and white pictures. Me, Ross, and Coochman standing in front of the church that was right by. I forget the name of it. It was a community center where we
Carpenter's
played.
Hall.
Yeah, okay,
It's
Carpenter's Hall.
on Broadway, and it's probably like 24th or 25th.
Something like that. It was on the hill, kind of the hill.
Yeah, it's on Broadway. I know it's before you get up to
And that show,
28th.
we played.
It was Crabgrass. It was.
I have the little thing over here somewhere. I should have brought it up.
Yeah, fucking.
Come on. Two big names, man.
I know. And fucking now I'm just totally.
And it's real
GBH, we opened for GBH.
Yep,
because
and guess who the other band was?
I
have the thing from the reader.
I have the black and white. I still
So
have
do
the
I.
black and white one. It's all brown.
Do you
and
remember who the other
faded.
band was?
Yeah.
And guess what? The other band, not to interrupt you, the other band has connections with Guns N' Roses.
Yep, and it's funny. Those guys. Someone dinging me. Those guys, and I'm trying to remember fucking their name, and I know it's sitting at the tip of my tongue.
Oh,
The
man,
Accused.
The Accused.
The Accused.
Who were before that the Farts.
Ah. Yeah.
So now that you're correcting me, because the Accused, the guy wasn't in it, but the Farts had Duff McKagan, who was in Guns N' Roses.
Yep, and Duff, that's funny because I was watching this fucking
His
GNR fucking documentary fucking recently, and they're like, "Oh yeah, and so was in the punk rock scene before fucking." I'm like, "Oh God, I fucking kind of recall that."
Yeah, but the Farts and GBH At that, Chicken was playing with us on drums too, but I also played drums, and all I remember is I couldn't hear shit back there at all. And I was going, oh man, I hope it was good. I hope it was good. And then afterwards, people were going, oh, you guys sounded great. You guys sounded great. And do you recall what we partaked in? Oh, like a lot of it. I mean, we could have been like, we should have been at Tahoe when it was snowing. If you know, if you guys can get my drift. So that's all I'm gonna leave there. We did a lot of skiing that night.
Yeah, and actually the sound was pretty bad. I just remember that afterwards, we're all sitting out back in the car plotting to plotting to murder Tim Mays, fucking for some reason.
We love you, Tim. Though.
Yeah, we love you, Tim.
We love
Please
Tim.
don't take this the wrong way if you hear this and listen to it, fucking. But for whatever reason, I know the sound was just horrible. I think personally for our set, if I recall correctly.
Well,
and I forget what else happened, but I just know Joe was just flaming on fire. He was trying. I mean, he was everything in the book he could think of to just murder Tim, and I don't know. It just like turned into a murder Tim session, and I'm just like, and I thought he was going to actually do it because of the way he used to do shit when fucking he got all wound
well,
up.
we all know what we're. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe, I know where you're at, and you know.
Is he still in? I thought he got released because of
Did he?
COVID.
Well, if he did, I'm surprised I haven't heard anything from him.
I don't know. I was kind of told because right before fucking Kevin Butterball fucking got killed, he was talking to Cooch regularly. As a matter of fact,
Kevin, didn't he have cancer? Kevin?
I don't know if he had cancer or
I
not.
thought he had cancer and he was living there in Chula Vista
so
at
I
his
didn't
mom's
know-
house.
I didn't know
He's
about
passed away now.
Dude, he was the one that fucking. He was the one that fucking got. He fucking drove into a trolley, fucking at high speed.
Wow.
Fucking, yeah, and so that was the real thing. We never really. I didn't know anything about him having cancer. I just know that he was working for Local 122, the stagehand union that I used to belong to, and we used to work together regularly. Then I got injured at 122, and they fucking screwed me, and I left. And I just know Butterball was doing really fucking good. And then, you know, I hear about this trolley accident on the news about this customized fucking badass truck that got
Wow.
taken out
I
by
really
a
hope
trolley.
wow.
And they reviewed the images and stuff, and it looks like he ran the fucking gates intentionally, fucking. So I don't know about, and we're all just, what the fuck happened?
Huh.
Yeah, it's one of those, what the fuck happened?
Well, you know what, man? A lot of us were like crazy, whatever, out there, whatever. You know, we're all doing our own thing, and out of everybody, I think everybody's kind of came out really good, man, shining. You know,
Dude,
it took a while. Like with me, it took forever. I didn't get my shit together until I was like 50.
Fuck, man, I'm like I said, I'm baffled. I'm just about 6 years now, alcohol free. Don't let this.
That's good for you,
Don't
Ross.
let this old Milwaukee fool you, because it is a non-alcoholic old Milwaukee, and I do this to fight the psychological warfare.
Hey, whatever it takes, man.
But I'm 6 years of fucking being sober.
Good on you, man. Congratulations on that, man.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. To this day, I remember when I was younger, I'm drinking till the day I die, and nothing can change that. And fucking,
well, that would have been a true statement, maybe, if you kept drinking.
Yeah.
Same with me, man. I was just drinking a lot of fucking booze, man.
oh, fuck it. I remember back in my beet farmer days, I was getting up, drinking a fifth of gin or vodka just to get out the fucking door.
Wow. Yeah, I hear that, man.
Oh, yeah. I was having, I've got months, years of my life just completely blacked out. Fucking.
Well, now that we've kind of went through a little bit of the chaos that happened back then, all, you know, getting all the coming here, and now let's hear what is going on with Holding Grudges now, which is, to me, for one, a great name. Two, I love the graphics and everything of it. And this, I love, and the big thing out of it all to me, I just love seeing you playing music, Ross. I love seeing you do that because I know how much it means to you and everybody else, and you know, to me, I think we're giving back. You know, without all the other people, like people that come to the shows, the people that put them on put on the shows. Without them, we don't exist. So,
Oh,
you know,
it's absolutely true, man. I just when I got sober, you know, it was like, okay, I'm a little bit bored, and that was the other thing. You know, I'm like, I picked up guitar. I was already back playing guitar before Donnie basically called me up, and you know, I just doing it for myself, and I'm like, God, you know, I really fucking miss doing this. You know,
when you were getting back into it and you stopped your drinking, was it was it really hard to do it? I mean, I'm
no,
sure.
no, no,
Really?
no. You know,
Okay.
fucking.
You just went cold turkey.
Oh, for drinking, yeah. I no AA, no
That's the
nothing
way
like
to
that.
do
You
it,
know,
right?
fucking,
That's the way I do it.
I've got real good, you know, mental fortitude and willpower, and you know, if I put my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. And
Okay.
you know, the only one that fails is myself. You know, and if I allow myself to fail, well, I allowed myself to do so. And I don't like failing. As a matter of fact, I tend to be a perfectionist and try to in everything
I
I
hear
fucking
that,
do.
man. I hear that.
And that's been the way I've just all the time. Fucking, I'm obsessive compulsive about perfection. It's like we'll have a great performance, and I won't think it's great. Fucking, I will nitpick.
You're your biggest critic.
I'm a biggest critic. I will nitpick the smallest fucking things, and that's just because yeah, I hate it, fucking. But it's just like, why strive for fucking just okay when you can fucking go for balls out perfect?
That's when I'm playing a show, I tell the guys this is gonna be the best show yet. And I say it every time, and they kind of got tired of it, kind of in a way. But then I think they kind of started getting where I was coming from. It's like maybe we're not gonna have our best show yet, but we're gonna fucking sure as hell try for it, man. We're going for here, and the next show's here, you know.
Well, the other thing too is that you're supposed to do it and be having fun doing it too, and that's the one thing at times, a lot of times I forget because I'm trying, I put my shit out there. This is all my music, all my lyrics, it's everything. I mean, holding grudges in the bio that I've got up online, it basically says, Holding Grudges regales the fucking lifelong misadventures of Ross the Boss Nichols. Fucking, and my life has been full of misadventures and chaotic shit, and I basically every song is a story about something that's happened in my life, and fucking, well, I don't want to be anal fucking about it, but if I'm putting something out there that I'm created and doing, yeah, I want it to be as good as possible.
But you also got Ross. You also got to live in the moment and enjoy.
Well, I know.
Enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Learn to enjoy it because, since the band's inception in 2018 until our performance on February 9th, which was my 60th birthday party gig, the band has only played 9 gigs since 2018. That's because I've gone through multiple band lineup changes, and I finally found a solid troupe. But we still don't have any amount of real, constant live play time under our belt, and so yeah, it's still a little uptight. It's still when you get up there, fucking, it's like yeah, there's still some nerves there because it's not just easy. And at my birthday, I had to keep telling myself, just relax and enjoy, fucking. But that's one thing. As soon as you can fucking just say, yeah, I'm there, I'm having fun, and forget about it and just let it go, fucking. And that's when it truly turns fun,
You're always gonna have a nerve. You know what, Ross? Not to interrupt you. I think you always have to have a little bit of that nervous factor because I used to tell my own girlfriend and the people around that I go, oh man, I'm nervous. And I'm always like just playing up like I'm nervous because I'm really not that nervous, but I am. If you lose that little bit of nervousness, it's like then.
Well, it's always there no matter what. At least for the first couple of measures, it's always there. Fucking the opening start, it doesn't matter what it fucking is. The nerves, the butterflies, at least for me, they're still there when I hit it. Fucking, and it's like if I can get through the first song, then everything else is pretty good. And normally I can fucking relax. But,
Okay,
you know,
now he's gonna take a minute to relax. I'm gonna let the lady in the house
Alright.
out.
well, good. I'm in need of another beer, so we'll be right back to you shortly.
What do you think, Ross?
It's fucking good. I'm good, man.
We're gonna have the whole band holding grudges next Saturday, I think. So I'm gonna have a whole house of chaos then, you know.
Yeah, well, Susie's gonna lose it. There's gonna be too many people here, huh, girl? Oh, my God. Let's see, what has the wife had to say? Photos have been delivered. Okay, good. She went to
See, look at Ross, man. He's the complete man. You know what? Like with us, I like that.
This is when you know you get to be okay.
Where's my shirt like that, man?
Okay, well, this is funny. This is when you know you get to be somewhat of a celebrity in town. Ha ha ha! Don't let your head get too full of yourself. Fucking strangely strange. Decided they wanted to use me on their most recent album cover
That's
that they
fucking
did.
awesome, dude.
And the album is titled Nowhere Fast, and that's me and my gal Bessie, my motorcycle. We graced the cover of the album and the T-shirt, and
That's pretty damn awesome.
It's pretty funny having a T-shirt that you're on.
That's cool, man. That's very cool.
You know, my wife was like going, maybe I should wear your Strangely Strange shirt to represent.
Well, now before we're gonna get into holding grudges, and you know, tell me about your wife, because you know what, all my friends, I never really thought that, you know, you don't think like, oh yeah, bro, I never, like Ross, he's gonna get married. Not that you're a good man and everything. It's just like, you know, it's just. And then when I heard you were getting married and you got married, man, that made me so goddamn happy for you. You know, it made me happy because I know what it's like, man. I lost my fiance, but I wasn't married to her, but I know how much you know. And I'm sure she's the rock for you, and she's your backbone, man.
Well, Amy is something else. And funny thing about Amy is that you know, we both had a crush on each other unknowingly before we actually got together.
Wow.
But unfortunately, I was well, at the time I was busy being an alcoholic and bouncer at Cheswick's. And,
Oh, what Cheswick's, huh?
and she was a regular and a hot redheaded regular, and being an Irishman and me and my thing for his own
There you go.
redheads, but you know, the funny thing was that I'm like, I'll never get together with her. She runs with the Harley crowd, and fucking, I'm not a Harley guy. I ride English motorcycles.
Not getting more to the dark side, huh?
Yeah, fucking. I'm sorry, I'm an English rider, fucking. If the Irish made a motorcycle, I'd ride that. But they don't.
Oh.
You tell them, Susie.
Come here, Susie.
We want the Irish to make a motorcycle, huh? Yeah. So, yeah, the funny thing is that we both had a crush on each other, and she said she'd come up and hit on me a few times. Of course, being deaf,
We're ignorant, not ignorant.
being
we're
deaf and drunk at the time, and also I had a personal thing too. There, I wouldn't pick up on. I would not pick up on in gals where I worked at, which you know, just because you don't want to shit where you look in, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, the funny thing was that again, a couple times, you know, I'd even walked up to her one time. She was at fucking sitting at a table with some guy that was just, I walked up to the table and I looked at her and I said, so that's the type you like to date. And I'm like, yeah, that figures. No wonder why. And I turned around and walked away. And fucking, that was pretty funny. Because this guy looked like fucking, I don't know, he was wearing some head to toe fucking like matching outfit, and I'm just like going, what the fuck? You look like you belong to something other than that. And we still didn't get together. One thing leads to another. Next thing I know, her girlfriend is, I don't know, I asked her girlfriend one day at Cheswick's or someplace along the line where I saw him, like, so what's Amy's story? And she's like, oh, don't worry, I can take care of that for you. And one thing led to another. You know, a date, one date, 2 dates. Next thing I know, I'm living at her house pretty much full time, and yeah, well,
You
bam.
couldn't resist the Rasta boss charm, huh?
Well, if I can, apparently, like I said, she had a crush on me, and I had a crush on her, and we didn't seem to know it. And this went on for several years before we actually got together.
Wow.
And then we got together, and well, the rest is fucking history. Love you, baby.
Well, I'm absolutely happy for you on that.
Yeah,
on
it's like
that part.
I myself never thought I'd ever end up being anything more than in just a relationship with a girlfriend, you know. So I also figured out, well, I'm getting older, and because I like to live the lifestyle I do, I better find somebody that has a little more security than me. But that wasn't the whole point. Oops. Yeah. It's nice to have somebody else in your life, and especially someone you can count on, and they'll be there. And,
So you're with your wife Amy, right? Amy, she must back you up on the music that you're doing with Holy
she loves.
Grudges.
Excuse me. She's my number one fan. She sews all my fucking patches on, all the shit for everything. She sells my merchandise at the shows. She's 110% support for the band in any way that she can be.
That's good, man.
That's awesome. You know, she wishes she could do more, and I'm not sure if I can do more.
Well, I know she can come up there and sing some songs for you.
Yeah, she's actually got a pretty good voice.
Yeah.
But
You ever think about that? Get her
yeah,
up there?
you know what? I'm very strange about.
Here we go, Ross. Is
Right,
good. You know,
okay.
nobody touches. Because I even said, "Hey, Ross, when am I going to come do a little guest vocals for you?"
Yeah,
He just can't.
I'm sorry. Call me male chauvinistic. I have an issue with women and music, or at least it's just an issue with me. Like, yeah.
Ross, we're going to have to work on that. We absolutely got to work on that.
Yeah. I just, you know, it is what it is. I have dealt with a lot of female performers before in my working career, and I prefer not to deal with female performers. No offense to the female performers out there. It's just, I'm sorry. I live in a man's world, and I play punk rock music in what I think is a man's world, and that's where it goes.
That's words from Ross there, you know.
Ross the boss.
Ross the boss. So, Ross, talk a little bit about Holding Grudges. I know you guys just recorded something, and
yeah, we've done a little recording, but I still can't get anything seemed to finalize. And we're hopefully that changes real quick.
Well, look around you right here, man. I help you out.
I've got a great lineup. I've been through. Funny thing was that the second lineup of Holding Grudges actually featured on the drums our former drummer, Mr.
He was in there a while, right?
Yeah, Mr. Dave Hood, and while I love David a lot, fucking. One day he showed up at band practice, and at first when I found him, he was only playing in his church band, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess it's time for me to start playing punk rock again." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God," because I was so in dire need of a drummer to get the band going again after my Austin kid left. And Dave's like, "Yeah, all right, let's do this," and I'm like, "Oh, fucking thank God." And I'd already gotten another bass player through Jared Haynes, who is in another band in San Diego called Jagged Lines, and we started working on stuff, and I love Dave. Dave's a phenomenal drummer, but Dave also lives in a different world than a lot of us. And one day he showed up at practice and said, "Oh, guess what? I'm in 3 other bands besides this one." And when I heard that come out of his mouth, I'm just like, great, this is the beginning of the end of you, isn't it? And and then it became, he said, "Oh, I'm not going to be available the rest of the year." And we're like in the middle of fucking, I don't know what it was, June or July or something, because he was getting ready to go do something with Spice Pistols.
Is it Spice Pistols?
Yeah, Spice Pistols. And I'm like, "Oh, that's great." So I'm just supposed to put everything on.
I've been there. I hate that, man.
Until you got time to come around? And well, that didn't sit well with me anymore. And as band leader and being my band, I'm just like, okay, well, we had a couple of performances together, and but it's just like I got to have somebody that can dedicate themselves to this band who wants to do it, and I don't need somebody that's in 3 or 4 other bands.
Band whore.
And,
That's what I used to call them. Band whore.
yeah, band whore. Well, it just and then we had a falling out over a song that I wrote. It was, I wrote a really great Irish drinking tune, which I still have yet to put out to the world and even perform. And I asked Dave. I said, "Well, okay, let's work on this." And I let Dave put his input on it. And next thing I know, it was being spun into like this boy band sing along fucking song, and it would just. I went home with what we tried to put together, and I spent a week trying to make it work in every different direction I could, and I couldn't make it work. And at the next rehearsal, Dave's like, all right, let's work on 1502, which is a ripoff of Misfits fucking We Are 186 or
138.
138, and then we'll work on Last Night's Beer. And I said, well, let's just work on 1502. We're not gonna do Last Night's Beer for this upcoming performance. And Dave threw a shit fit. He's like, oh, I've already announced on Facebook that we're playing a new Irish song and all this shit. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, Dave. What we put together the other day with you doesn't work with me. And he, he started throwing a personal tantrum. I mean, like a personal tantrum that left me and my bass player, Jared, with our jaws on the floor going, what the fuck? Where did this come from? And I'll just leave it there at that. And I was like, okay, you're going out with another band and you're throwing a shit fit about a song that I wrote.
That's pretty, yeah.
And
wow.
I was like, okay, all right. Well, tell you what, go out on the road, Dave, and I'm sorry, I'm going to move forward without you. And again, that was that. And I still love Dave, and no offense to you, David.
I'll see him tomorrow. He's going to do one with him tomorrow.
I ended up eventually landing Mickey Miner fucking on drums, and I'm very happy with Mickey. Mickey is a surfer out of Ocean Beach, long time in the punk scene. He, I forget which his early bands was, but he, for a while there, he gave up playing drums and became the front man for Catch 22
Wow.
out of San Diego. And then he actually went back to his first love of drums and was the drummer for Broke Bastards for the last couple of years.
Huh.
And then Broke Bastards had a little bit of a falling out amongst their band members. And I was lucky to grab him.
You swoop him up.
He's still, if they do Broke Bastards again, yeah, great. I would certainly hope he goes back and does it. But I asked him specifically, I said, would you ever take on any other project than Broke Bastards and Holding Grudges? He's like, oh, fuck no, I don't even want to think about being in 2 bands. I'm like,
yeah.
okay. He's like, and that would be it. I'm like, okay, good, because I don't want you coming up to me and say, oh, I'm in another band now, other than Broke Bastards and Holding Grudges.
I'll put a little thing right here. Please be advised, anybody that's starting a band, make everything clear, because you know what? That kind of shit is just, and sometimes it sounds easy. I'm going to do 2 bands, Maybe it is, but you know what? There's always going to be some time where it comes up. Well, guess what? We just got this great show, blah blah. Well, I can't do that one because I got something, And I've had that happen so many times.
Yeah, finding the right combination of people is really hard, and and that's why bands that make it stick together, and it's until you really find that right combination, you either will or won't, and it's hard, especially if you play in punk rock music, because there aren't a lot of punk rock musicians out there, and those that are in bands. And,
Right.
you know, it's just like, you know, unless you're going to go out and, like I did, break in a kid who knows nothing about punk
Well,
rock.
it sounds like what the things that happened down the road for you to get where you're at now. I think some of them were like not maybe meant to be, but they kind of worked out for you,
Yeah.
you know, in the long run. So
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said, everything is always trial and error, you know, and you never know when life's going to change and something's going to happen. And, you know, I mean, I hope nothing happens with this lineup currently. I'm very happy with it. I want to get it out there a whole lot more. I'm very disappointed we can't play the Inciting Riots farewell show because we were asked to, but my bass player is going to be out of town. And, yeah, I know. I'm just like, God damn it, man.
I've had that happen so many times.
No, dude, I'm telling you, and that's going to be a great show too because like,
I'm recording it live.
Yeah, I'm really bummed because we had last time we played the Ken Club, we had a great show up there. It was our first time too, and it took me for fucking ever to get into the Ken Club. I mean, I've known Brett Bodie for years, but it seemed like every time I talked to Brett about getting a show there going, he's like, yeah, and then he'd fucking never get back to me. So I finally had to fucking go through Patrick, the door guy, me and Patrick are tight, and fucking, thank you very much, Patrick, my brother. You know, but we had a great show, great turnout there, and fucking, I just, Holding Grudges is basically, you know, I like to say is it as an eclectic mix of punk, rock and roll, and hardcore heavy metal. I mean, fucking, yeah, I do have fucking Tommy Winkler was at the show on February 9th
Oh,
and he
man.
walks up to me and goes, Nichols, yeah, that heavy metal stuff isn't so bad you're playing there. I'm so,
He always supposed to say some
you know,
fucking shit like
nothing's
that.
ever changed about Tommy Winkler.
Oh no,
The
it's
shit
not at all.
talker.
He's just
Yeah,
like
really
that. He used to
fucking-
talk shit to me all the time, but we'd be drinking a beer and like, last year, like
Yeah.
you know, like. So now, what's in store? Any shows coming up? Recordings and what
at
you
the
know?
moment, nothing lined up, and that really blows. You know, that's the one thing too, because I was out of the loop for so long. A lot of these clubs don't exist anymore. You know, I don't know who's booking the clubs, and you know, it's having to get your fucking feet wet again, fucking in local San Diego.
Well, going back to how I was saying, you know, we're giving back and this, and so doing this podcast and doing the different things that I'm going to be trying to do, I want to try to unite the bands a little bit more, maybe have a little bit more being able to help each other with shows, you know, because I know a lot of bands, it's like they think like, oh, we're playing with them, and they just to them it's like, you know, like a big, they're out for a fighting match. We need more the unity, you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly.
So we can get in and have these shows for each other, help each other get these connections.
That's one thing we need. Definitely. I mean, well, there are a few venues that are fairly stable, regular punk venues. It's like we still need someplace else. I think, you know.
I
Unfortunately,
think we need a little bit more of the like do it ourselves type of thing, maybe.
Well, that's
Find
true,
a
too.
hall and rent it and do a show.
I completely agree, and I'm very itchy at that point to really do it. You know, also too, we got a couple people that have are growing up that have grown up in the punk rock scene that are starting to put on and produce shows around town, and fucking what is Zach from PSO, fucking who's throwing the big punk rock rodeo. And
Man, I get on shows with him, and he's done a lot for me. But remember, hey, remember, he always wants me to get the shit gibbons back together. Shit gibbons he wants to book us all the time. And then I gave him a bunch of stuff for the shit gibbons because he wanted to release it. I gave him like a lot of stuff. I know he had a kid and everything, but you better do it or give me my shit back, man.
It's just like when I saw the lineup for Punk Rock Rodeo here in San Diego coming up, I was totally blown away. I'm like, how the fuck do you put all that together? But wait a minute, you have you hardly don't have any local punk rock bands on this bill. What the hell is that about?
I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That really irked. That really irked me.
And the thing is you don't want to like come at him the way that you really feel because you know what I mean. It's like.
Well, I did hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, man, what's up with this, man? And how do some of us locals fucking get on this? I mean, obviously, it looks like it's a little late now, but there are quite a few of us that should be on this bill that aren't on it." And
He was putting on something like that, maybe even the same event like a year ago, right? And he said something. No, it was something about San Diego bands, like
yeah,
almost the history of it. And I go,
home-
dude, I don't want to toot my horn too much, but why the fuck am I? I don't like playing that card, really. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. But if you're gonna have a big event personally like that, and you don't have a good grip of local bands on a bill, you're snubbing the locals.
Susie,
It's-
come here.
Yeah.
You're staying outside next time. Sorry, everybody.
It seems like
Come here. Go ahead, man.
Anyway, it seems like you're.
Shut up.
It seems like the local when you snub the locals on the fucking lineup, it's definitely going to make some of them disgruntled, And,
You're going outside.
and while Susie gets taken outside, we'll pause for this moment.
Susie the bench is hey, Sid Bishop used to play drums for him. Oh yeah,
Yeah, so it's like I hit Zach up and I was like, hey man, I understand you already booked all this shit, but you're missing a lot of local acts from this bill. I mean, I know you can't do anything about it now, but tell you what, if you need any bands to be replaced,
yeah.
Feel free to pick up the phone.
Maybe me and you need to mastermind putting something together and doing a show somewhere.
It's funny. Last year, maybe 2 years ago now, we were trying to work on a 2-day event with a couple of people, with Nikki from Wabash and a couple other people.
Hey, you know what? She's a workhorse.
Yeah, she does a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Nikki.
And yes, and it unfortunately the event fell through because we were trying to set up. There was something else going on at the same time that was going to literally, take half the capacity that we were be expecting. We're like, okay, let's just fucking shine it off, and then it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on, and then all of a sudden you see this shit, and you're looking at this list of bands. I'm like going, how the fuck is he getting all these bands down to San Diego in these 2 days? And it's like, well, wait a minute, where are the locals? I see Deadly Dispute. Who else is on there that's local?
That's about it, right?
That's about it. I'm just like, wait a minute. The punk rock rodeo, and you got Deadly Dispute. That's it locally. And I think Wabash is playing too. But I don't know. And so whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I want to be playing more. I'm sure every band wants to be playing more. But yeah, it's just where are the venues? Where are the promoters? Who wants to fucking really get this shit going again?
We're gonna have to do some deep digging and do some on our own.
I'm obvious. It's like this whole thing. I just went for the birthday bash I did. I mean, it wasn't that hard to put together, but then it was dealing with the club, and no offense to Winston's, I was promised.
That's hard to get. Not hard getting in there, but I've only played there like one time in all these years.
Well, this has been the band got its first performance at Winston's when it first started in 2020, and we just had our third performance at Winston's, which was our 9th overall performance since its inception. But it made I had to sit down with Ted, the fucking manager / owner there, and we talked about having some drink deals and everything. So I really wanted to make it a party like the way we used to when we were younger.
Yeah.
Hell, I wanted to buy a keg of beer basically.
That was your 60th birthday, man.
Yeah, and
shindig, man.
And it didn't work out at all that way hospitality wise. Matter of fact, I had 18 musicians and they only gave me 15 drink tickets, and it just
They might as well not even give you any.
I know. And so it's like next thing I know, I'm having to run a tab, and I'm $200 out of pocket at the end of the night, taking care of the other musicians and the bands. Fucking, and why I didn't mind because it was my birthday. It's just like come on, you guys. Fucking, I made him a killer offer. I'm like, dude, let me go buy here. Let me buy 5 30-packs. You sell the beers at 2 for $5. Reimburse me just my cost for the beer. You keep everything above that. If there's leftover beer, you keep that too. They wouldn't let me do it. And I understand the ABC rules for alcoholic beverage control
Right,
and everything.
right,
But it's like, we could do it. I think, and plus we were up against the Super Bowl. Well, we had a great turnout. I had 90 paid heads at the door. Fucking, it's like I had a bunch of complaints from the band members because they weren't being taken care of, and it made me feel bad about it. I'm like, look, here.
You know what, man? Those damn musicians. It's unfortunate that it happened that way, but guess what? You know that it's usually like that. You know what I mean? And you don't bitch about it. You be happy that you're playing. I understand. But the other musicians, it's like, come on, man.
I know. I was. My thing was, we're having a party, and it was about, there was a show going on, and we were competing against the Super Bowl, but we billed it as the anti-Super Bowl fucking party, punk rock birthday bash, fucking. We had a great time, fucking. Hospitality could have been better, whatever, fucking. Everybody did have a good time, though. All the band members were like, with the exception of a few, there's like, yeah, it was fun, but, I did have several say, yeah, we probably won't play here again.
So then if anybody wants to get any Holding Grudges merchandise, or they want to get a hold of you to book a show, what's the best way to get a hold of you? And I know you guys got a website,
yeah,
right?
we got the band website, holdinggrudges.com. You can always go through the email and contact there. We can, directly is holdinggrudgesbandsd@gmail.com. Go to the website. Fucking, you can join the Grudge Army, be all you can't be right off the bat on the front page while you're there, and be on the mailing list. And hopefully we're back out playing again soon.
Well, all the links that he's got the website in there, I'm gonna get that from Ross. I'm gonna put it on the comment section or wherever it is for this podcast. But really, anybody out there that wants to put something on, want to get a hold of Holding Grudges, get a hold of Ross, get it going, and
please do. We want to fucking play.
And you've done some recording that's going to be coming out, hopefully, right?
We're going to do some more recording probably here.
Probably it's going to be here, and we'll also next one of your live shows we'll do some recording live. Because what I want to do, I want to start recording all these bands live and put them out on something and do it. It won't. Awesome. If we could put like maybe Live at a Dive, I know that title's been used.
That's
Live at a Dive, San Diego Hardcore, and if
Live at the local dives.
You get into the history of San Diego. Let me tell you, there's a lot of history, and we're going to cover all that here. We're going to talk about it more. And
God, the day I was just alone. When I told Dirtbag Dave I was coming here, I'm like, God, Vinny needs to be talking to you.
I call Dave all the time, and he won't get a hold. I
was just talking to Eric House before I came here. House was like, "Oh, you're going to talk about punk rock? Well, whatever you can't fucking cover, tell him to call me."
Hey, I plan it. You know what? I've talked to a bunch of people, and I go, "Hey, I want you to come on my podcast," and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "You know a lot about San Diego, right? You love San Diego music. I'm happy to hit you. I'm gonna do one with you." So that's basically what I do, and we're gonna have all the guys here next week.
Yeah, we'll do a little Holding Grudges sit down, bring in the other two clansmen that I like, the Grudge Clan.
So now, is there any other things that you want to leave us with? I think we wrapped it up. But I'm definitely, you know what? There will be a part two of Ross the Boss because me and Ross got a lot to talk about. Let me tell you.
We got stories of galore. Fucking, we can tell crabgrass stories.
Oh, jeez.
We can tell stories or gore stories. And, oh my God. That's the one thing. At least the stories that I can remember, they still stick in the memory bank.
So, what are you going to leave us with, Ross?
Oh, well, leave you with we are holding grudges naturally. And thank you very much for your time today. Fucking, fucking San Diego's got a great music scene, man. And unfortunately, we got to just get people out there, support it, and we need to fucking actually build it back up again. It's coming. It's coming back. It's getting better. Punk rock is actually back in San Diego and becoming more so again, and it's been a long time. So it's good. It's good. What comes around goes around. Well, it's finally coming around again. And I'm glad to finally be a part of it one more time. Again, who knows how long it'll last this time around, but I'm enjoying the fuck out of it, and I want to get up there and belt it out while I can.
Well, Ross, it's been a real nice afternoon with you. Every time I see you, man, it puts some more love in my heart, and it gives me that good feeling. It brings back the memories, and it also helps me be inspired to keep going on and do what we do. So, Ross, I thank you for being here and coming out and spending time with me, man.
This party actually reminds me of an old song we used to do. Slip by just too fast. Time has left me forgotten past.
There you go, man.
Down and out, here I come. Look out, world, I'm number one.
There you go. See, that's the boss.
Yesterday is gone tomorrow. Yesterday is gone tomorrow to stay. So.
See, I love it. I love that one. All right, Ross.
All right, guys.
Much love.
Thank
See you
folks.
guys.
Have a good night. Rock on, San Diego.
Yeah.